India remains a victim of Pakistan-sponsored terrorism for decades. At various domestic and international platforms, New Delhi has raised the issue of terrorism, noting that it is high time countries from across the world should launch a collective mechanism to fight against this menace. In a recently held virtual debate on international cooperation in combating terrorism, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S.Jaishankar slammed Pakistan and China for supporting and aiding terror activities. This was the first time that India made an intervention in the UNSC after it assumed temporary membership of the body on January 1, 2021.
India raised the issue of state-backed terrorism during an open debate on international cooperation in combating terrorism 20 years after the adoption of 1373, an anti-terror resolution which was passed after the 9/11 attacks in the United States. Taking an indirect jibe at Pakistan, India's External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar slammed the country for being clearly guilty of aiding and supporting terrorism and willfully provide financial assistance in safe havens to terror leaders. Underworld Dawn and proscribed terrorist Dawood Ibrahim is one such terror leader with a huge terror empire whose illicit ventures are spread across the world under the banner of D Company with Islamabad support. India highlighted how the 1993 Mumbai bomb blast accused Dawood Ibrahim is not just given state protection but also enjoying VIP hospitality in Pakistan.
Linkages between terrorism and transnational organized crime must be fully recognized and addressed vigorously. We, in India, have seen the crime syndicate responsible for the 1993 Mumbai bomb blast not just given state protection, but actually enjoying five-star hospitality.
As is widely known, China has always defended Pakistan on the issue of terrorism and has misused its power at UNSC to place a number of blocks and holes in the process of enlisting and delisting terror individuals. India suffered several roadblocks by China while getting the Jaish-e-Mohammed chief Masood Azhar on the UNSC's 1267 sanction list in May 2019. Perhaps still smarting under his designation, China even tried to block India's leadership at the important terrorism-related committees at UNSC, including Counter-Terrorism Committee, Taliban, and Libya Sanction Committees. Urging UN Security Council members not to make false distinctions of good terrorists and bad terrorists, Jaishankar came down heavily on both China and Pakistan for delaying the process of designating terrorist individuals and entities, as well as failing to stop the funding of terror.
We must reform the working methods of the committees dealing with sanctions and counter-terrorism. Transparency, accountability, and effectiveness are the need of the day. The practice of placing blocks and holds on listing requests without any rhyme or reason must end. This only erodes our collective credibility.
For several years, India has been itself battling terrorism with great determination. Talking about those challenges, India proposed an 8-point action plan for the United Nations in order to credibly address this menace of terrorism and ensure effective action. Indian External Affairs Minister also highlighted the fact that how COVID-19 pandemic has aggravated the situation of radicalization and recruitment by extremists and said it is time for the world to commit to zero tolerance policy for terrorism.
While India has been itself battling terrorism for many decades with great resolve, these proposals have been framed with the interests of the entire international community in mind. It is time that all nations walk the talk against terrorism and commit themselves to the goal of zero tolerance.
India has taken up the issue of the threat of global Islamic terrorism propagated by Islamabad at various world forums. Even as progress has been made in the last 2 decades, Pakistan-backed terrorism continues to pose a direct threat to international peace and security, requiring collective action at the global level. This time, global terror financing watchdog FATF has warned Pakistan to do more to rein in terrorist groups operating from its soil or face the consequences. If Pakistan fails to comply with FATF this time, it will face a much more aggressive and friendless international community where it is possible that even allies like China will no longer be able to help to bail out Pakistan in the future.